Hi, I'm Katie from What Katie Did, and welcome back. Today I'm going to tell you about our 1940s escape and evade map lingerie. We have MI9 British intelligence officer Clayton Hutton to thank for our map lingerie. He was the one assigned to research how prisoners and spies escaped during World War I. And with the help of rugby school pupils, he did a lot of research, and it turned out the one thing all the escapees had in common was that they had access to a map. So he decided that maps were very important when it came to escaping and evading. He then had to design a map that was basically indestructible, and whatever it went through, it would still be readable and usable. And so he came up with printing onto silk, and the silk escape and evade map was born. I have an original map here from the 1940s. So as you can see, this one isn't very big, and it covers the whole of France. So we've got northern France on one side, and then we've got southern France on the other side. I'm just checking it's the right way around. It's so tiny, it's so difficult to read, so difficult to see. So this is what you would have been given, and you could have hidden this in the lining of your jacket, or it could have been hidden in the heel of your shoe. They were also smuggled in board games, in part of board games, smuggled into prisoner of war camps, because they do fold up very, very small. So these would have been smuggled in and used to aid escape. Over the years, I've studied 1940s fashion and lifestyle, and I was aware that things like dresses were actually made from escape maps. But it wasn't until I saw the lingerie exhibition at the Victoria and Albert Museum a few years ago that I actually realised that there was a lingerie set made out of a silk escape map. It belonged to Countess Mountbatten, and it was made from an Italian escape map. And I was just totally captivated by this lingerie with the story behind it. It's always interesting when you research vintage pieces about the story behind it, and the stories are really just as important as the pieces themselves. And so I had in the back of my head that I'd love to do something inspired by Countess Mountbatten's lingerie set. Fast forward a couple of years, and my dreams actually came true, and I was able to recreate a 1940s map set here using digitally printed fabric. With our map lingerie, we haven't used silk. I'm vegan, and silk is problematic to me, so we've printed it on a very soft, fine polyester satin, and we've got a 1940s style French knicker, a 1940s style bra, and the 1940s style suspender or garter belt. The map we've used is a 1940s map, and it actually covers the top of Italy and the border of France. So it was an area that was very militarised during World War II. In the 1940s, women would have worn French knickers like we've got here, but because I know some of you prefer a more modern knicker, we have taken things up to the 1950s, and we have a more modern knicker as well, which you can wear with our suspender belts, which looks amazing. The pattern we've used for the bra is a 1940s pattern, but we have actually added a paramesh side for comfort. And at the time, I was trying to make things, give it the 1940s look, but make it give it a bit of stretch and make it a bit more comfortable. So I'm thinking now, this range has been out for a couple of years, and moving forward, I might try and recreate it and make it, truly 1940s. So I might look at recreating our CC09 bra with this fabric and our CC09 French knickers. So if you have any feelings on that, please let me know, and I'll see what I can do. I have spoken about stockings during the 1940s several times in the past. Of course, it was virtually impossible to find a pair of nylon fully fashioned stockings during the 40s, and you would have been wearing rayon or silk, which would have been a bit thicker than the nylon fully fashioned stockings we know today. So if you do want to recreate an authentic 1940s look, I would go for a darker fully fashioned shade such as our copper or our chocolate, or even go for our glamour seam stockings in coffee or our latte seams, because then you can see the seam and they stand out. The thing you have to remember with the 1940s is because the stockings were thicker, they would be visible on the leg, and it would be obvious that you were wearing stockings. So if you go for something more obvious, then that'll be more authentic. Of course, you don't have to wear stockings at all, because the stories about women drawing a seam up the back of their legs with eyeliner, or even using commercial leg makeup, which was made just for the 1940s when nylons weren't available, that's actually true, and a lot of women resorted to that as well. If you want to put a high fashion twist on this look, then the map includes shades of baby blue and green, so you could bring things up to date and team it with our baby blue stockings, which we have done with a few of our shoots, or possibly our green seams, just to give it a little bit of colour and bring things out of the 1940s. Although we tend to focus on the 1950s, we do have our CC09 range, which is based on 1940s designs, to join our map range as well. So we're kind of well covered for 1940s lingerie. If you do have any questions about our vintage inspired lingerie or fashion, please get in touch. And in the meantime, please take care, and I'll catch up with you soon.